folks. So, Sar, you've been asking me time and time again. You've been asking Jose and I time and time again to talk about more manga. And I keep saying time and time again that I've been reading more manga and we will talk more manga. So, in an effort to appease our friend in the Middle East, I've read the first 2 volumes of Battle Royale. This not too long after reading the first 3 volumes of Gantz.
4.
Was it 4 volumes? Yeah, that's right. First 4 volumes of Gantz. First 2 volumes of Battle Royale. For those who are not familiar with the concept, Battle Royale is essentially Survivor with teens with guns. Or I'm sorry, guns, crossbows, knives, axes,
frying pans,
everything. Anything that you can kill somebody else with, that's what they've been given. And
well, not true, because one of them got a megaphone.
Yeah, that's right. Where did they get the megaphone?
Well, that's all right. So the basic premise is this takes place in the future in dystopian Japan. People are getting the population is getting older and older. The average age is getting older and older, and the older people are becoming very scared of the younger people. So the government puts a policy in to keep them in the check.
Right.
And what it is once a year they have this TV show called The Program. And what it is they take the worst class of school, or homeroom of a certain school, and they put them on an island, or they put them in a setting where they have to kill each other, and there needs to be a winner.
And there needs
Only
to be
one
a winner.
left to win.
It is rigged where if they refuse to fight, they will be killed. They have these remote devices around their necks that are set to detonate. If they try to gang together to try to overthrow the program, the folks who are running the program, they will be killed. If they decide to stay in one place for too long, different areas of the island are designated as danger zones. They can be killed that way too.
Yeah, like different 1 or 2 hours. If you're in a specific zone, if you're in there, the collar is going to explode. So you have to constantly keep them moving.
You have to keep moving. You have to fight. If you refuse to fight, you will just be killed.
I think after 4 days, if there is more than one person alive, all the collars explode.
All of them explode. So that means
there's a time limit.
Everything is, as they say, the rule is kill or be killed. So you also have all these different personality types being thrown in. You have some kids who were the class bullies. You have the kids that were always getting picked on. You've got the jocks. You've got the loners. You've got the kid who came from the other school who has this mysterious background, the transfer student. You have the 2 best friends that were in the orphanage together that are thrown into this. So that's the premise. And again, speaking to what goes on in manga, and I'm learning this more and more, and I know a big part of it is a cultural difference. Writing in manga, it doesn't waste any time getting to anything.
Right.
I was reading Battle Royale. I'm reading Battle Royale. This is the first volume, and
the English adaptation is actually by Keith Giffen, also.
Which is, I was really impressed. You know, you don't think of when you think of Keith Giffen as a writer, you think of him as Mr. Humor, Mr. Chuckles, Ambush Bug. The translation he does on this is really well done. But back to my point, I didn't get 2-3 chapters, and kids are already getting killed in this thing. I mean, this book starts off right off.
I think
hitting you in the gut.
42.
42 kids go in.
Let me just double check that. Okay, go ahead.
And one of the characters that there's a substantial amount of build-up in the very beginning meets a very... I'm going to tell you, I was really surprised that his character was killed so quickly. Because in American comics, you would have a lot of build-up of this character, and we'd be spending all this time getting to know him, and then at the end of a story arc, You know, like the first issue, you know, the first couple issues, then that character gets killed. In this manga, bam. I mean, it says, oh, by the way, hey, this is a good kid. You should like him. Oh, bam, he's dead.
And one of the interesting things is that that character is pretty much around for the rest of the series in flashback.
In flashbacks.
So you do get to learn more about that character, and
Right.
it's even kind of more tragic that he is already dead.
Exactly.
That he died like in the first couple chapters
Right.
of the book.
And I was making this comment to Jose before we started recording. The more manga I'm reading, the more I'm seeing a lot of the storytelling conventions that you found in a show like Lost. Where Lost does the same thing. It tells you a story, and Lost would spend a lot of time using flashbacks to fill in the gaps as far as who the characters were. You got to know the characters more through those flashbacks as opposed to what was going on in the main story. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, you know, Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse and maybe J.J. Abrams read a lot of manga and thought, hey, this is a really great storytelling device that you can use to get people, to pull people in. That's why the show did so well.
In every person that dies in these first couple of volumes, they all have a little bit of backstory to them. So you know something about those characters, whether it's only a couple pages or 4 pages. But the longer the series goes and the players that are still alive, their stories get bigger. Their backstories become bigger and bigger and bigger as they go.
And the thing that gets me about this, too, as you're getting to know these characters, whether it's for only a few pages or for a few chapters, when these kids die, I mean, it hurts. It hurts. There's no scene where you go, oh, yeah, right. You know, you're like going... There are some characters in here, and they're the ones who are running the program that I don't know if they get their comeuppance, but God, I really want them to get their comeuppance.
Oh, the guy heading the guy who's heading the program?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't read these first 2 volumes in years, and just rereading it before or looking through it, I forgot how much I fucking hated this
guy. You really
he's
do
a fucking
hate
jag.
him. You hate him.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show how really well written these books are. But again, it's brutal. It's really, really brutal. It kind of shines a light on the darker aspects of humanity, and that's why, Jose, you gave me Face Shield to read. Eye Shield 21 to read, because I need to clear my palate of this really dark manga. Maybe now, that convention. That's another thing that Robert Kirkman does in The Walking Dead. I mean, when you really think about it, he does the same thing. He gets a lot of characters. He gets you to care about them, and then bam, they're done. Well, they're gone.
But going into this, you know that they're
they're going to die. You know, everyone except one of those kids is going to die.
And that's kind of what, when you keep reading the volumes, it's just like, is your favorite character going to finally bite it?
Right.
And for those of you who have read this and who wanted to talk about it, just keep in mind that we've only reviewed the first 2 volumes. I've only read the first 2 volumes.
I've only read the first 2,
so
don't give anything away yet.
Try to save your spoilers for when we actually get to those volumes, because we're going to try to get into 2 or 3 volumes every few weeks, just to keep everyone abreast of the situation. But yeah, try not to spoil it too much for everybody.
Right. And we will talk about this more. And I do want to read Battle Royale. I am really... it's really gotten my interest. I'm really getting into manga now. Jose's done this, and the format in itself. Not only that, the little snapshot of the culture behind this format is really fascinating. The little pages where they explain the diagrams of the island, they explain the origins of the program, who's running it. That's really, really clever too, because it's not like, you've seen movies like...
These are all the kids that are in there.
Right.
Just keep talking.
Right. You see movies like The Condemned. There's this new movie coming out soon with Gerard Butler called Gamer, where it's like really the same concept.
Well, that Gamer is kind of like the Running Man.
But they don't really... The movies don't explain really the social forces that drive why something like that occurs. This really, especially considering we're celebrating 20 years since Tiananmen Square, this is something that, unfortunately, it's not as implausible as you would think.
Right, and mind you, this book came out in Japan originally, like turn of the century.
Oh yeah.
But the whole aspect of reality TV is how awful it is now. I mean, there's always been dystopian versions of, like, The Running Man, like we just said. There's always been those kind of stories around, but to jump on the reality television bandwagon before it even
before
got
it
to
hit the States, at least.
Exactly.
Because we had reality television was big in
Britain and
Britain
Japan.
and Japan was big there. It hit us like with Survivor a while back. So great book. So again, if you're not reading manga, I highly recommend picking up something. Not just Battle Royale though, because again that's really dark stuff. Pick up some other stuff, and Jose's getting me into other things. What's the book that Sarah keeps asking you to review?
Oh,
keeps talking
Air
about
Gear?
Air Gear.
Yeah.
We will be getting into that, and
we're
yes,
letting Elliott borrow this, so we'll probably review this next week. Black Lagoon.
Black
Volume
Lagoon,
1.
which looks kind of pretty
It's about
fun.
pirates.
Pirates looks like fun.
Modern day pirates.
All right, so there you go, Sarah. I hope you're happy. Give us a break now, okay? We'll be talking more manga, but give us some time. When we come back, we have some Dark Horse books we'll talk about.